Хочу напомнить, что наша страна также располагает различными средствами поражения, а по отдельным компонентам и более современными, чем у стран НАТО. И при угрозе территориальной целостности нашей страны для защиты России и нашего народа мы, безусловно, используем все имеющиеся в нашем распоряжении средства. Это не блеф.
Russia sending fresh signals to the West after annexing 4 Ukrainian territories. Moscow seems to be mounting another escalation, a nuclear escalation. Some disturbing reports have emerged. A convoy is on the move. It is believed to be carrying equipment from Russia's nuclear program. Where is this convoy headed? Apparently to the front lines in Ukraine. Vladimir Putin has issued a warning to the West. He had said his nuclear threats should not be considered a bluff. Remember that. Is Putin now acting on his threats? What does this mean for the war in Ukraine? Russia's latest nuclear dare is our cover story tonight. I'd like to begin with some pictures. A video has emerged from central Russia. Take a look. And now let's take a closer look at those pictures. What do you see? There are some military assets. They are mounted on a train and they are on the move. What exactly is on this train? Some reports have emerged. There is a reason to be worried. Apparently, this train is linked to the Russian Ministry of Defense. More specifically, the 12th Main Directorate. What does it do? According to a report, the 12th Main Directorate is a secret nuclear division. It is responsible for nuclear munitions, for one, their storage, maintenance, transport, and issuance to military units. So, were nuclear weapons being moved on that train? That's the question. We cannot say for sure at this point. Some experts are skeptical. They say these could just be armored vehicles and nothing more. But we need to focus on this fact that no expert is denying this fact. Russia's greatest leverage in this war is its nuclear arsenal. We've spoken about this before, and Moscow plans to use it to its advantage. The NATO has issued a warning to its members. It claims Vladimir Putin has ordered a nuclear test. It could be conducted on Ukraine's borders. This assessment was part of a NATO intelligence report. It had some very specific details. Allegedly, Russia is now considering testing the Poseidon. It has been nicknamed the weapon of the apocalypse. Why? Well, much of its capabilities still remain a secret. Russia hasn't shared much about the Poseidon, but what we do know is this. The missile is about 20 meters long. It is a torpedo, which means it is fired from a submarine. The missile is said to have a range of at least 10,000 kilometers. So it is essentially a long-range weapon. A Russian submarine is on the move. The K-529 Belgorod. It is capable of firing nuclear missiles. NATO hasn't said anything yet about these reports publicly, but last week it had warned the Russian president. Listen in now.
President Putin's nuclear rhetoric is dangerous. It is reckless. Russia must understand that the nuclear war can never be won and must never be fought, and it will have severe consequences for Russia.
Let's talk about the United States. What's its reaction? Well, the US is not dismissing these threats either. They are taking them rather seriously. The White House has issued its own assessment. It said the world would not take the threats from Putin lightly.
Well, what's interesting is that at various points over the course of this conflict, including right at the outset, Putin has brandished the nuclear card. He's doing it again. So the risk has been there from the start. It's there today.
The risk has been there from the start. What's driving these fears, though? Is there any factual basis to these assessments? Or is it all just posturing at the end of the day? There are some reasons why these threats are being taken seriously at the moment, and one of them is Russia's nuclear doctrine. It describes the conditions under which the Russian state can undertake a nuclear strike. At this point, I want to draw your attention to a very specific clause. A nuclear strike is allowed in the event of, and I'm quoting, aggression against the Russian Federation with conventional weapons when the very existence of the state is threatened. The last bit is important. Let me emphasize, a nuclear response is okay if the very existence of the Russian state is under threat. And now let's juxtapose this with some recent comments from the Russian president. What are the reasons that Putin has given to wage this war in Ukraine? He has pitched this as a fight between Russia and the West, where the very existence of the Russian state is under threat.
They do not wish us freedom. They want to see us as a colony. They don't want equal cooperation with us, but robbery. They don't want to see us as a free society, but a crowd of soulless slaves.
The West wants Russia to be a colony. They want to see Russians as a crowd of soulless slaves. So what message is Putin trying to send here? He is implying that the very existence of the Russian state was under threat, and hence the need to wage war. My question is, will the same logic be applied to deploy nukes? The Kremlin today was asked about the reports of a nuclear test. Moscow chose to dismiss these reports and slam the West instead.
You know, Western media, Western politicians, heads of state are now practicing a lot of spreading of nuclear rhetoric. We do not want to take part in it.
Not an explicit denial per se, it wasn't an admission either. Let me remind you, we are talking about nuclear weapons here. Even flirting with the idea of using them is dangerous, to say the least.
And whatsoever you shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. If you love me, keep my commandments.